Here's the first clip of personalizing a dress form. Here is the initial dress form. I have to add to the bust and the hips, and I will do that with padding. Here's the first cover. It molds directly onto the to the dress form. Eventually, and this makes it, because it's the Dritz, it makes it easier to pad. So you need the base. It's a thin polyfilla used for quilting that I elected to use. This will, from this point, I'm going to establish the waistline, and center front, center back. You must remember that the dress form must be at least 1 to 2 inches smaller than the final, so you can pad it to fit the person who's eventually going to wear it. Now to I guess to personalize the dress form. This, because it's a Dritz, I'm having it so it can be removed. So eventually, I'll turn it around. Eventually, the center back will be sliced. Once I've got the cover on it and all this, there's going to be a zipper. So this will be cut off, and it'll make a flat interior that can be put onto the dress form. Where the dials are will be noted. So the size of the dress form as it is right now will be duplicated. Then I will take the finished cover, put it on, zip up the back. So this is why this base that fits it is necessary, because of the, you can work in the gaps and all that stuff. So that's our so that is the base layer of the dress form. Here are the other layers of padding. This is actually, this will be pushed down a bit. This layer is, this is a 1/4 inch polyfilla. This is a little bit denser. I don't know exactly how much, but just a bit denser. Major parts have been filled. This will compress it somewhat and smooth it. And then on top of this will be the cloth layer. Anyway, so this is basically the first, which will which kind of makes a more unified garment, under structure. Then where padding is needed, especially, and then this will smooth it down to make it easier to work with and all that. I'm going to use panels. This one will go to the highest, the apex of the bust, and there, and I will do little, like just to make it smooth. If I require to do a pinch here or there, I will. And then I will have side, and then for the back, half the same. And this will eventually, like I said before, there will be, once the fabric is on top, a zipper will be here, so this will be able to zip on and off. Anyways, so there we are. Now the dress form is completely covered in polyfilla. I've marked the waist, and I've done the center and side seams using a plumb line from the middle, just to make sure it's vertical to it's straight down. Now after this, I will create a cloth cover to go over this. It will further kind of push everything in, so it'll be a lot smoother. So this is the fabric I'm going to use, and that's going to go on top. So that'll be the last cover, and then it'll be ready to be used as a dress form. There, the cover is being draped onto the polyfill. I pulled a thread to mark the grain line, because when you're draping, grain is everything. And plus that, I put the thread so I could see it better, because I have, just visual, it makes it easier for me. Anyway, so I thread marked the center, thread marked the breast line. From that, I made darts, the side dart, smoothed it, and now we're going to start working on the back final cover of our dress form. Now the back, half of the back has been draped on and marked. I put marks on where the darts are, all that side seams, and I did the same to the front. And I followed the outline of the sleeve. Now this is going to be removed, and it's my pattern. And from this pattern, I'll create the cup. Here are the pattern pieces that have been removed. This is the back. All the tracing lines have been trued. And here's the front. All the darts, the lines have been trued. The waist mark. And you can see the shadow of where the pins were. But I trued them using a French curve, straight ruler, that sort of thing. From here, using a wheel, I created my pattern. And here I traced, here's the tracing of the front. Tracing up the front, the pattern's been made. And the tracing of the back. Pattern's been made. Now for the front, you'll notice this line and this line. These are conjoined with the red bust measure, and that's set on the paper, and then using a tracing wheel and a piece of cork, I trace the pattern, and from there I got the finished result. Now what I'm going to do is add seam allowances. First, double check measurements, make sure that all the seams are the same length, that the darts work and all this. Then I will put on seam allowances, additional with adding a lot at the bottom, the back, and for the arm and the neck. And from there I'll have the finished shell for our dress form. The fabric cover has now been sewn up. I'm just, so we put it on the form. I put pins here. I'm going to tack this down so you get the center. And I've pinned the back so so I can easily cut open this along the zipper, tuck in the selvage edge at the cut line, and sew it down so it has a nice finish. And then I will, and once I get it off the form, I'll tuck in all the facings to give it a nice finish. Anyways, there we go. Okay, here is the finished dress form. It's completed to the measures of the client. And the beauty of this type of dress form is that you can zip it off. Where the wheels are, I've noted. So when I have to, when I'm making another piece of clothing for this client, all I do is note, put the numbers where they are, where they're noted in the interior of the cover, and then I have her dress form made. And this comes right off. See, just comes right off the dress form. Sorry. Tape there. Comes right off the dress form. So that, anyways, I've noted the waist. One second. And so there it is. Now we're ready to see, everything's finished. All these, so it's nice and neat, and we can just store it, and I can make an arm. I'll make an arm for it as well, so when I'm when I'm draping dresses, I have the arm. Anyway, so that's how you would use your adjustable dress form for many clients. And if it's for yourself and the waist isn't quite right, the bust isn't quite right, whatever, the hips aren't quite right, even with the dress form you have, or you know, like your back is long or whatever. I guess the key is to make sure that the dress form is at least 2 sizes smaller than you are, so you have something to because you have to. You have to fill it up a little bit, right? Put on the fiber fill and everything. Anyways, so there it is. The finished dress form cover for this client. And now I can make her dress to fit. There you go.